On my final tour, it was the photo that broke formation. We'd just landed, rotor blades still whining, the dust choking the air, when the notification lit my screen. A picture. My daughter, clutching a sheet of paper, edges crumpled from her small hands. The text from my wife read, "She misses you." But the sign, most of it was blacked out with a thick marker, a crude attempt to hide whatever she had written. One word survived the purge: help. I zoomed in until the pixels bled. My stomach didn't drop, it froze. I called my neighbor, asked her to check on them. She promised she'd knock right away. 7 minutes later, my phone rang again. Her voice was tight. "You need to come back now." My voice didn't rise. Why? She hesitated. "Because she won't survive that long." The line went dead. I left my rifle, my duffel, my orders, everything. I boarded the next flight back, the war outside replaced by a different one inside my head. The house was exactly as I left it, too clean. My daughter was gone. My wife sat at the kitchen table, her hands folded as if she'd been waiting for me, but her eyes avoided mine. "She's at a friend's," she said. I didn't sit. Why did she write that word? What word? I stared. She reached for the kettle, her hand trembling almost imperceptibly. She poured tea into a cup she knew I wouldn't drink. The smell of lemon and honey mixed with the scent of something else, fear maybe, or guilt. I glanced at her phone lying face down on the counter. The lock screen lit up. A man's name. I didn't recognize it. She noticed where I was looking and slid the phone into her pocket. That's when I understood. It wasn't just a cry for help from my daughter. It was a fracture in whatever illusion I had left. I didn't confront her, not yet. I spent the next 2 days playing the role, husband, father, man returning from service. But underneath, I was measuring every shadow in the room. My daughter spoke less. When I asked her about the photo, she looked toward the hallway where my wife stood. Then she shook her head and went upstairs. That night, while my wife showered, I unlocked her phone. Her passcode was the same as it had been for years, my birthday, a detail she must have assumed was safe. I scrolled through messages, screenshots, videos. A man. His face blurred in some shots, clear in others. Messages at hours when she told me she was sleeping. Words that didn't belong in our marriage. But the worst was an audio clip. His voice, low, coaxing my daughter to call him uncle and keep their secret. My fingers tightened around the phone. I didn't smash it. I copied everything. I sent it to a locked drive she didn't know existed. The next day, I took my daughter to school myself. I asked the counselor, hypothetically, about mandatory reporting. The look in her eyes told me I wasn't overreacting. The next 3 days, I gathered evidence: bank transfers, phone records, a calendar entry for a trip to the coast 3 days after my deployment began. She thought she was untouchable. She thought I was too far away to notice. The final piece came in a white envelope. DNA results. 1 swab mine, 1 hers, 1 my daughter's. I didn't open it right away. I held it in my hand while we ate dinner, her asking about the base, me asking about the neighbors. After the plates were cleared, I slid the envelope across the table. "What's this?" she asked. "Proof," I said. She opened it. "Read it." Her lips parted, color drained. She looked up at me, searching for something: anger, heartbreak, anything human. But I gave her nothing. "You knew?" she whispered. "Before I came home," I said. Her breath caught. "It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think," I said. My voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. I reached into my jacket and placed my phone on the table. I pressed play. His voice filled the room, her lover's, speaking to my daughter, telling her not to tell Daddy. She shook her head violently. "No, no, that's not—" "It's admissible," I said, along with the bank statements, the photos, the travel receipts. Tears came then, fast, messy. She reached across the table. I didn't move. "I'll lose her," she whispered. "You already did." Her sob broke the silence, but it didn't touch me. I stood, took the envelope, the phone, my keys. I paused at the door. "I've already spoken to a lawyer," I said. "Custody? Full. Supervised visitation if the court's generous, and they won't be." She made a sound, half gasp, half plea. I left it on the floor between us. I picked my daughter up from school. She sat in the back seat, eyes on the window. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Somewhere new," I said. "No promises, no lies." As we drove, the sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the road ahead. I thought about the battlefield I'd just left overseas and the one I'd just walked away from here. One was loud, bloody, chaotic. The other was quiet, surgical. In the end, both required the same thing: precision. I glanced at her in the mirror. She was humming to herself, unaware of the storm already gone. I would never tell her how close she came to being lost, or how I took back everything, calmly, completely, and without mercy. The house in the rear view shrank until it vanished. So did the woman inside it.